Hello, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch with a little bit of paper crafting thrown in too. If you are new, I'd like to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play. I hope you like what you see. Maybe hit like and subscribe, and I would love to know what you like to stitch. And if you're a returning stitching friend, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me and talk cross stitch. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Alrighty, so I am so excited to talk to you today. We are in the throes of all of the September challenges, which has been so much fun. And I had an extra video, and I had 2 finishes and a start, and more starts coming up. So exciting. So let's just jump right in. I do want to say, as I referenced, I did have an extra video that I put out this week. I did a flip through of the Autumn 2025 Just Cross Stitch magazine. So if you'd like to see that, it is in 2 places. You can either just go back to my regular set of videos, and it should be the video right before this one, so right before 285. Or if you go to my playlists, I have a playlist of all of the magazine flip throughs that I have done. I don't think I've done any book flip throughs. There's a couple I have that I thought might be fun, but I haven't done any yet. And you can go back and see any of the magazines. Maybe you pick up one later on and you want some different ideas and kind of chat about it with me or listen to me and chatter away, so on, that reference is there for you. So just there if you need it. And like I said before, I would love, in the extra video, I'd love to know what caught your eye, what struck your fancy, and maybe what you're gonna stitch first. Alrighty, so let's get going with my stitching. I'm gonna start first with the full coverage that I worked on this week, and it's going away now at this point. I was able to pull out, let me show you what it's gonna look like first. I was able to get my 1,000 stitches on it, so I was super excited about that and decided, okay, that's it. Now it's time to go away. The camera's a little farther away from me today. I have so much stuff here, so I feel like I'm not sure. Let me try to make sure I show these to you pretty good so you can see them. This is Mini Paris Morning. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is by Uliana Babenko. And there are a series of these with the girl and the little dog. I know I have at least one other mini, and I think I have one full size, which I'm not sure I would ever do, but you know, it was probably on sale and I probably picked it up because I love that little dog. So maybe one day you'll see me start one of the other ones, but first I need to work on this one. So this right here, okay, I thought I was sitting far enough back. This is it completely from top to bottom, and I'll show you that, and then I'll come up because I really didn't do anything over here. I guess I could put my chair back a little bit, but I think we're okay. This is done on 18 count white aida, 2 strands over 1 full cross, and let me come on up here. This is where I really concentrated on. Now you're not going to see some of my stitching. It's kind of hard to see, but this whole section is white. Let me look at the picture again so I can reference. I have about 5,000 white stitches that I still have to do, I think. So clearly, there's a lot of white to do. So what I was doing was, it starts here, and then I think all along here is white. I know because it's clouds, basically. As well as I think the teapot, and then the little doggy is white. So we have thousands of white stitches to do. What I did was I would pick a color or something and I would do it, and then I would do a strand or 2 of white and then kind of go back and forth. I did some white here, and then I also was concentrating a little bit between colors and white in this section here. I did try to fill in a bit more confetti here and up here. It's not completely filled in, but I am basically just picking colors or picking a symbol and saying, okay, where else can I put it? And then I think, let me see over here. Sometimes it's easier not to have on a board. I still have a couple of stitches up top over here, but for the most part, this whole section is confetti free. So we're getting there. I can't remember. I think when I looked at it, I didn't put it away last night. I think it was the night before last was when I did my last set of stitches in it. And I don't generally write down the percentages when I put it away. I keep meaning to, but I kind of glance at it and pattern keeper, and then I just kind of forget to write it down. I'm lucky if I remember to write down how much I stitched. I want to say it was probably about 14% or so. So not the smallest amount, not the biggest amount, but it's coming along. And I feel like I've got this month, I think I pulled in at least a good 2,000 stitches on it. So I'm really pleased with that. And it's going to go away now so that I can give another one of my pieces some time. I'm going to stitch on the next one that you'll see next week I started it yesterday, and then I will work on it until this first day of autumn, which is when Heather and I, the 20-minute stitcher, let me write down, are going to start the autumn. It's not called Portal, but I call it that. It's Autumn something from Pain Free Crafts, and that is a Rose Con piece. There's several people stitching the entire 6 Portal piece. Heather and I are doing just the one. And you know, if it ever gets finished and I really enjoyed it, then I'll try another one. There's a couple other ones that I really did like as well, but the autumn really caught me right away. So that's my full coverage. That one will get put away now, and we are in September. I don't know if you'll see this one for the rest of the year because I have several full coverage pieces that I'd like to get some work on, and I will try to continue even if I'm working on the autumn one, to pull out other ones as well. So we'll see. Okay, so what did I do this week besides the full coverage? I'm trying to decide if this is going to be in my way. I am going to try to put it over here. Maybe? There we go. Okay, good. This way it's not completely in the way. So one of the challenges that I've been working on in September is called AB Singo. Now, that is part of the Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge group on Facebook. All of the challenge groups that I talk about are in the description box below, so you can see what they're called and their names. That is an open group at all times. They are doing it differently this year. I am doing it the way it was done in 2024, and so therefore I'm calling my own letters. So when you hear me calling letters, that's not what is the official one that's going on right now. I'll show you my board. You're not going to see yesterday's call because I need to do some more stitches. The idea is to get at least 100 stitches on each one, but I've been really trying to get at least 200, to be honest, so it can go a little farther. These are all the ones that have been called up to, so yesterday was the 11th, which I'm not showing you, so up through the 10th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So I have 10 already filled in. So I'm starting to show you from last Thursday, and then we'll go from there. So last Thursday, let me put the magazine over here so that's out of the way. Too many things here. Last Thursday, the letter I pulled, and all I did, I took Z out and I just put all the letters on a piece of cardstock, put them in a little bowl, and I pick each day. I actually forgot to pick for today yet, so I have no idea what I'll be working on. And then each day I just try to come up with something that goes with it. Okay, so the 4th, the letter B was called, and so I pulled out, let me show you the full digital. It's a digital pattern, so I'm going to show you the full one here. I pulled out Butterflies 2 from Durene Jones. Now, I am stitching this with several different friends. If you go to, and there's actually been a finish, which is awesome. Karen, the Twitchy Stitcher, go watch her latest video. I would say, so it would be August recap, right? She has a finish, and we're all doing it differently. So I'm not going to tell you what she did, how she did it. It looks phenomenal. Karen, the Stitching Owl, is also working on it. And my guess is I bet you she's going to finish it second. She's plugging along quite fast on it. So it's exciting. And she's doing something different, but you'll have to watch her to see what she's doing. Along with myself, then, I know Mary from Mary's Stitching Corner is stitching it. And then Amy from Renewing Stitches, I believe. Amy, we miss you. We haven't seen a Flosstube from Amy in a while, but I believe she started it. And then Rachel is not doing regular Flosstubes right now. She is kind of doing a kind of health journey, and she's documenting it on YouTube. She's Rachel Q Stitches. She may still be stitching in the background. She's very busy right now. So we're not seeing her beautiful stitching, but she was stitching it. She did start it. So I'll link her down below. It's not Rachel Q Stitches anymore. I can't remember what it is, but it'll be linked below if you'd like to check out how she's doing. So those are all the friends that I can think of that are stitching it. We did have a hashtag, Stitch All the Butterflies. I have seen friends also stitching. There's 3 in the series that Durene Jones created. They're all very cool, all wonderful colors. And I've seen friends stitching some of the other ones as well. So if you do stitch, please let me see. I would love to see what you're doing. Alrighty. The next letter that was picked was P. And I mean, it's September. I picked pumpkin. That would oh, I didn't show it to you yet. Here we are. I talked all about it, and then good thing I have these in order, because otherwise I would have just gone right on and skipped completely over it. I swear I slept pretty good last night. The night before, not so good. Last night, pretty good. You wouldn't know it though. I'm a little scatterbrained apparently. So this is what mine looks like. This is 18 count white Aida, 2 strands over 1, full cross. I am stitching the entire piece. So as you can tell, I am doing all of the 4 corners, the repetitive corners. So this will be a square when I finish it. And this time around, I have to say, I decided to really lean into black and try to get a lot of the black stitching kind of outlined a bit. And again, it doesn't look like much, but it is more than it looks, right? Isn't that what the refrain is? It's more than it looks. I know I probably did a couple different colors as well, but for the most part, I was really leaning into the 310 stitching. And I am, because it's going to be, you're not going to be able to get anchor black anymore. I am starting now to, when black is needed, pull out the 310. I do have, somebody did ask me how many skeins of anchor black do I have, because every time I would order, say from 1 2 3 Stitch, I would throw in like 3 or 4 skeins just because. I don't know, I haven't counted, probably because I was doing that for a couple of years, 10 or 20 or maybe more. But I'm going to use it sparingly or specific projects. I think this one, it's coming out okay. It's looking pretty good. I'm also going to explore using DMC Floss, the black, which would be 1-stranded, sometimes going forward, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. So here we are, lots of outline, and I generally get bored with doing that, but I was kind of enjoying it. So I said, well, I might as well run with it while I'm enjoying it. So that's what I did. All right, so that is butterflies too. I could hear you yelling at me, Laura, you didn't show the actual stitching. Okay, so getting back to, let me bring this notebook up a little farther now. The letter P was called, and so I did pick pumpkin. Would work perfectly in October because you know I do all my pumpkin stitching then. If you are new, October is my birthday month, and for the last several years, I have invited everybody to join me with pumpkin stitching. It's hashtag pumpkin birthday Sal, stitch along, start along, however you want to do it. It's ongoing. Some of these projects I probably have had since the beginning I've started it. It's whether it's pumpkins, they don't have to be orange pumpkins, pumpkin colored floss, fabric, pumpkin adjacent, you name it. It's just in just the spirit of stitching all together. So if you'd like to join, I would love to know what you're doing for that month. Okay, so October Provides is what I decided to do. As you know, if you've been around, I'm stitching all 4 of these. I'm stitching them with a floss. I'll show you in a minute. 1-stranded, all the same color, different fabrics. And I am making these monochromatic. I have seen them done as charted and they're beautiful. I am just a real big fan of monochromatic, and so that's what I've been doing. When there's a chance to stitch something all in one color, I go with it. I find it very relaxing, almost meditative. So here we are. This is an 18 count. It's an unnamed fabric, oops, from Hand Dyed by Rolanda. Pretty, but it has no name. So does it have a number on it? No, doesn't have a number either. So there we go. Let me show you the floss. I know when I talk about it, I do get questions from people, rightfully so, because I had never heard of it before. Who did I see mention it? I don't remember now. And that had me investigating. So this is how it comes when you buy it. show you on the back here. And this is $3.19. Oops. Not all of the DMC colors are shown or have floss versions of them. I don't know how many, maybe 50, probably the most popular. So you can see there, it says $3.19. Floss is spelled F-L-O-C-H-E if you're looking for it. Do be very careful. I have seen it. It generally, in times past, I've gotten it mostly from 123, but I think Etsy has it too. It's around $5.99 for the skein. It's a pretty good deal. However, if you go on Amazon, I've seen it as high as $15 for the same skein. So just be very careful with that. I don't want you to get overcharged when something, when you can buy something that is cheaper than that. Now, it is folded over. I don't know if you can see that. And so I do cut it down. I used Black Ribbon, I believe it's Black Ribbon Studio. I'm going to link down. She had a fantastic tutorial that I don't know if it was Floss specifically or if it was Hank's. It might have been, I don't remember. I Googled through YouTube and all of that. But she had a fantastic tutorial and showed how to cut this down. So I follow her way of doing it. And so this way now it's cut. So I just pull one strand each time I use it and go from there. So that, in case you were wondering, that's what it is. I know I do get quite a few questions about the floss. I like it. I like it on 18 count. Obviously, coverage is going to be your preference as well. But that's where I am. I was able to, I did some of this, worked on here, and then I did all of the kind of the fill in around the pumpkin. And I think I also had to fill in the back of the bottom of, say, this basket or whatever. So this whole element is mostly, if I look at it, mostly done. There's some then that comes out here. This will be pretty easy to keep going. And then I had part of this border, so I did some here. Be careful if you're stitching it, because the first two on this side and then the two over here are going to be different than the others. And then there's also a different amount of space between, say, the first four and then a whole section. So definitely pay attention here. Over on the other three sides, I believe it is the same repetitiveness, but she got a little sneaky there on that part. So that's where it is. Now, I'm not trying necessarily to get these finished by autumn. I know I won't. I mean, we're only, what, a week and a half away from, I don't know if the first day is the 20th or the 21st. My goal is to kind of just have it done by the end of autumn. That I think is doable. I would say I'm probably half done. And then the only other one I have left to do is the winter, which is this one. And I'm thinking I will probably do a blue fabric. A lot of times, I've been doing, with these seasonal pieces, when I do the same floss, it's been pinkish for spring, yellowish for summer, kind of peachish for fall, and then blue for winter. So I don't have it picked out yet, but could probably bet good money on it that it's going to be a blue fabric. So hopefully by the time that autumn ends and winter starts, we will be in that last one, and then they will all be finished as a 4-page collection in the scrapbook. All right, so what's next? I have a decent amount of digital pieces this week. I pulled out, so if I pull it out this next week or next weekend, I don't know. I was stitching this just for funs for Mo, my husband, if you're new. He is a Pickleball huge fan, and so I have been stitching this for him. And the letter X came up, and I just did X stitch and said, well, that means I can just pick anything, and I want to get some work done on this. It is this top one right here. I think it's a 2-pattern piece here. There's another like kind of small ornament. It's from Annabella's. It says it's time for Pickleball is the official. I did get the digital. I think there is a paper pattern too. Very easy to stitch. You could get the digital and literally just stitch from the digital without printing it out, without having to put it into a pattern keeper or markup. It's very easy to follow. Or if you do print it out, it's still super fast to stitch. I am using all of the called for flosses, and here I am. explained before about why I chose the yellow. This is 18 count lemon from Bestitchme. And I think all the greens really do kind of look good on that. I did not get the entire word doubles done. I finished Our Pickle Now Has a Face and Feet. I know I did the word ace. I did the paddles and, well, half of the paddles and the ball. I do have to fill in the top here, and then we have the handles. But then after that, I have 3 words, the last bit of doubles, and 1 more pickleball. And a couple of these kind of little elements. So it's a very fast stitch. It goes fast while you're stitching it. So that's been good. And again, I'm just kind of stitching it for fun. Last year I stitched him an Aston Villa logo for our 25th anniversary. So for 26, he gets pickleball. Alrighty, this next piece here, I actually have a finish. I didn't finish it when it was called. So it was called on the 7th, on Sunday. The letter V was called, and I chose with V to go violet, which is the fabric color. I was realizing after the next couple days later, ooh, violet, I could have done my 4th wing piece, but that never even entered my mind, and I did want to get this one done. So this is it. The piece I'm going to show you is part of Slightly Spooky by Little Robin Designs, and I am doing the October 31. This is a restart, so because I had started it on this fabric with the orange and then going into the black, and it just wasn't popping for me. And so when I saw the black part, I loved how it had popped so much on this fabric. I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it all in the black. And I'm so happy I did change it up. Let me kind of fold over here. And here's our finish. Isn't that look so cool on with just all black? I love this fabric. We talked about it last week. And yes, Kimberly, I think people would buy it. I can give you the number. It's an unnamed fabric from To Die For Fabric. She was just kind of playing around, I think, that summer that she was doing these. And so there is a number to it, but I have no idea if that number corresponds to a die recipe. But here it is. I did use, I'm pretty sure I just used 310. I might have used Anchor on this one because it was originally charted at least last year before we knew that we would be able to buy Anchor anymore. So it could be Anchor, actually, thinking about it now. And I really like, I'm not sure which one I'll do next. I really like it like this. I could see doing all 3 with the black on the purple, to be honest with you, rather than incorporating any orange. So that's what it looks like. And I could see just making this one probably, it could be a big ornament, most likely. Or as you know, I have my floating shelves, and underneath I had Mo hang like little hooks so that I can hang ornaments that way, as opposed to having them always off of a tree or something. So my first finish, yay, of the 2 that you're gonna see. This one is finished as is, like I stitched everything. The next finish you're going to see, actually I probably don't even need to put that back. The next one you're going to see is that I get to, I did change things up a little bit, and I didn't stitch the entire piece as is. Okay, so then we went to Monday, and the letter S was called. Now, sometimes people ask me, how do you get so many challenges done, you know, and so on and so forth? And what I do is I kind of double dip where I can. So I know I want to stitch this one this month. I would like to get it finished this month. So when the letter S came up, I said, well, then there's lots I could have chosen for S, but September's Morning Glory I went with because I knew I wanted to stitch it anyway this week. So I might as well combine the two wants of stitching. So this is September's Morning Glory from Cottage Garden Samplings. We are getting so close to getting the entire set of them done. September, October, and then we will backtrack to July and we will be done. And here's what it looks like. This is being done on an 18 count Friendship Green by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I don't think I had to change any of the colors. Sometimes I've changed the greens along the way. What I did change though, if you'll see here, the words are in 2 browns. I chose just one of those colors and I went with all of that. The last time I had stitched it, I was working more on this side with the words and some of the pictures. I decided instead of continuing with that down here and the leaves, I wanted to get a little bit of the flowers done. If you stitch these, the flowers are the most intensive. She does a great job of adding multiple colors to make them really look pretty. But that means this flower has probably 5 different DMCs. So they can be very intensive while you're working on them. And so sometimes it's a little bit, if you save all of that for the end, you're constantly changing, and it kind of seems to take longer. So what I decided this time around was I wanted to tackle some flowers, and then next time I pull it out, I'll probably tackle over here, then go back. And then there's also quite a bit of greenery at the bottom, which will go fast. So once this is done, then I'll go between the flowers and the greenery. This flower had barely been started, so I did the entire flower there. I worked on some of this blue flower. I had to frog a little bit. I had this incorrectly. And then I did all of the greenery that you see over there. And I ran out of time. This poor little leaf has 2 more sections that didn't get stitched, but that's okay. That'll be an easy. I probably will, next time I do the greenery, worry about that rather than even, you may see it like that next time you see it if I concentrate over here. But I would like to get this one finished this month, so I think it's doable. I have all of the purple flowers done now. I have that small blue, and then I have a ginormous blue flower, and then it's a lot of greenery, and that should go much faster. So I'm hopeful. I am hopeful. Alrighty, so let me put that in here. What's next? What's next? On the 9th, I pulled the letter G. And again, I could have gone in a bunch of different directions, but I decided to pull out my goose. And that is the Strawberry Goose Witch right here. This is by Fine Frog Stitching. And I am stitching this with, again, Karen the Twitchy Stitcher, Karen the Stitching Owl, and I believe Mary is also stitching this. Yes, Mary is also stitching this. So several of us are stitching it, and I'm going to show you where I got. I was inspired by this color fabric. You know, sometimes I go completely off base, but sometimes I find the picture is an inspiration, and I will keep it along those same lines. Now, mine is a little bit brighter, and mine has opal. I don't know if the sparkle is going to show up. Let me show a little bit more of the fabric this way. It is so much fun. This is 18 count opal mint, and it's from Paddock Lane Designs. And for my Australian, New Zealand, all of the fans on that part of the world, Paddock Lane is a company that is from Australia. And she has phenomenal fabrics. If you'd like to see a stitcher that stitches quite a bit with Lisa's fabrics, and you can see a lot of the colors, go to Peggy from Peggy's Still Stitching. Let me write down Peggy. Not only does Peggy use Lisa's fabrics, but she has a phenomenal sense of color. And so she really does come up with some great combinations of what fabric she uses with what projects. So that's where I am. I decided I wasn't in the headspace to tackle the greenery right here. As you can see, I'm doing the paper. I do believe this does go into Pattern Keeper if you buy the digital, because I'm almost sure that's what Mary is doing. This is confetti heavy, and I just wasn't in the headspace. So I decided, well, my border was about here. I said, let's come on down. I've done 2 of the 3. There's an outer lighter color, the inner darker, and then another inner lighter. So I did some of that, and then I decided to tackle the goose. All of this white of the neck needed to be done, and then I had to finish the bow and do some more red over here. But I think she's so cute. We do have a hashtag. It's hashtag never thought I'd stitch a goose, because I really truly never thought I would stitch a goose. But when I saw this one, I just kept coming back to it, and I said, I have to stitch it. So I am. So there it is. And I did not stitch, and I don't think you're going to be able to see it on camera. There is one of the eye, there's one area where you're supposed to put in, I don't know if it's white or a very pale ecru of some sort. But ironically, that one hole has an opal kind of, the opalescent, whatever that little kind of metallic-y stuff is in the opal fabric. There is one right there. So you actually, when you look at it, the eye sparkles with that little bit of green, and it's not all really kind of tight. Sometimes I find that the eyes don't always look great when I put all of the flosses in. So I am keeping that unstitched. So my goose has a little sparkle in her eye. And I'll just keep pulling that one out probably for challenges, probably year round. I mean, it is Strawberry Goose Witch, so technically it is a Halloween stitch, right? But she's so cute that I think she could be stitched any time of year, to be honest with you. And maybe my goal will be by next Halloween to have her finished. She's probably going to go in the scrapbook anyway. Speaking of scrapbooks, I figure I'll show you what I've got behind me today. I pulled out, this is an old one that I stitched. I think it's from Country Cottage Needleworks. And I just threw it in the 6x8 scrapbook. I really leaned into the colors of the stitching. So we have kind of the tealish, light tealish blue with the red. And then I used a kind of picket fence die cut because I feel like, oh, actually it does, because I was mimicking the picket fence over here and it needed something down there. And I thought that was kind of fun. So that goes in the scrapbook normally, but I thought today, you know, and it embraces kind of the September kind of schoolhouse vibe. I mean, you guess you'd need like a little bell up top here, but it could almost be that kind of schoolhouse vibe, I suppose, if you wanted it to. So there we go. All right, so that was the piece I was going to show you, the past finish I had for this week. All right, what's next? Okay, that is, no, one more for AB Singo, and that was on the 10th, on Wednesday. I pulled the letter U. Full disclosure, I actually pulled the letter U on the 1st. However, I looked at it wrong. I thought it was a C. So on the 10th, I actually pulled the C. And I was like, whoops, I totally messed up. So we did the U that I should have done on the 1st on the 10th. It all gets done in the end, so it really doesn't matter. A lot of times for you, I've been pulling out this piece right here, which is Mary Poppins, which is umbrella. We actually have a couple umbrellas. We have the one that Mary herself has, and then if you look over here, there's one over here as well. This is from Lina Ova, and I am not stitching the border on this one. Unlike Cinderella, which I am, the border is very pretty, but it really wasn't speaking to me the way all of the inner pieces are. I do not have the entire border marked off on Pattern Keeper yet, so I don't know my full percentage. I'm at least technically over 60% done, but I still have one whole section of border that I have to mark off, so I don't know what it will be eventually. There is a hashtag. It's hashtag Lina Ova Sal if you would like to join along and stitch any Lina Ova. I have both Cinderella and Mary Poppins going, although I do have another couple that if I wanted to start one at some point, I could. And here I am. This is 18 count Uranus from Under the Sea Fabrics. I've said this before. I kind of wanted like a smoky, bluish, think like foggy London idea. And when I saw this one, I thought it worked perfectly. I am using, oh, what's the blue I'm using? Is it 939? You know, that deep, deep navy blue. I thought that would look good against this, and I do really like it. And I did a combination. I did some over here, that little element with a little bit of building, and then I came over here and I built some of this, and then I was finishing up with some of this. Now, normally, you haven't seen, I've kind of, in September, one of the things that I have been doing, and I had through August, I had to say I was really proud of myself. I had 4 pieces. I was rotating them every week. You saw one of the 4 pieces, and then it would change out after I got 500 stitches. And then in June, I finished Fish and Ship, so we were down to 3. And I was still kind of keeping that up to a certain degree, but September has thrown that out the window. And I think at this point, because, you know, October has the pumpkin birthday sale, and last year I did kind of a Thanksgiving bingo of my own, which I may or may not do this year. And then we're into December stitching. So I think this year, I think that plan is going to get put by the wayside. I do not know if it will come up back next year. It fit its purpose for the first 8 months of 2025, and I'm pleased with it. And I think I had started it last year a little bit too. But so this piece was getting once a month 500 stitches. So I'm gonna have to find some other way to show it off and get some other stitches with it. But that's where it is right now. And like I said, I did not fill in all of the outer edges of the border to know specifically where I would be through Pattern Keeper, the proper percentage. So I'll never know until I'm finished, but it's so fun. And I will just keep pulling it out. At this point, at least through the end of the year, it'll be a challenge piece. I do realize, and I've thought about this, some of those hard letters like U or X or whatever, anytime you have a sampler with letters on it, you can use that, right? But I just seem to, with U especially, I just go right to umbrella. And I have that piece. I do think, actually, I used it also for the magazine monthly. I am doing their acrostic as well, and they did have a U. Oh no, I used Uliana Babenko for that from Paris Morning. So that's another one I can use for U's. But anytime you see a U, you'll probably see Mary Poppins. Okay, so that was AB Singo. Like I said yesterday, I'm not going to show you. W was called, but I did not get all of the stitches in on it that I wanted to. So you'll see that next week. These next ones are kind of ones pulled out for other various reasons. Actually, they all have specific, well, the last few do. This one I just kind of wanted to get a finish. I'm going to show you what the original looks like. And I know some of you are not going to like what I did. I like it as is, but I decided I wanted it done, and I wanted it done simply. So that's the full thing. It has the 3 words. She did do, you can see here, she's got a bunch of different letters. I'm assuming those are initials that mean something. Those are the kinds of things you're not going to see. So let me show you what I've got. And I am calling it done. And I figure if you didn't know what the originally looked like, you wouldn't necessarily know it's empty. I know now that I've shown you the original, many of you are not going to like this, and that's okay, because I do, and it's going to go in my scrapbook, and it's going to be fine. I wanted to keep just the word thankful. Grateful and thankful, kind of the same thing. Felt a little redundant, and I just wasn't sure I wanted the words kind of thrown in these 2 sections. Because I wasn't doing the letters, I did one of the elements here first in the center. I was originally going to do up here, then I was going to do this flower the other direction, but it looked a little too, the idea kind of felt a little too matchy-matchy to me there in the end, so I decided just to repeat those elements a couple times. So this piece has got more of a triangle look to it, and I'm okay with that. I did change almost all the colors to go a little bit more with the vibe of my fabric. This is 18 count Poetic Ponyboy from Those Missing Stitches. And I'm really pleased with this fabric. It's really kind of a fun fabric, great for these fall kind of items. And actually I really like the red that popped there too. I think it looks good on this. I did choose my own variegated floss for the squirrel. I don't know if it's not showing right here, so I can't remember what it is. If you'd like to know, I'd be happy to tell you. But I'm pleased with this one. And I know this is one of those cases where many of us will differ in our opinions, and that's okay, right? I mean, maybe some people like to add extra stuff that might not be there. And I am one who generally likes to take things out because I'm more of a minimalist, and I just wasn't feeling the extra words and the letters and all of that. And that's okay, right? You just kind of go with what works for you. So that was my second finish, yay, of the week. So I'm excited about that. And then I did have a start. I pulled just one section out of this. So this is the Evergreen book number 202 from the Prairie Schooler. And if I go all the way up here, do you see what we see? It's an owl. And of course, I am supporting Jen from Jen's Fiber Web. So let me write down Jen's name real quick. My pen, for some reason, doesn't like to work after a while. It gets tired after about a half an hour and says, I'm done. I don't know which one is which now. I'll just put that over there. So I decided, and I wasn't going to stitch all of these in this big section anyway. I thought I'm going to just pick and choose and just do some of them more as like ornaments kind of thing. I do like, which one? I was thinking of just doing the peace dove without even that, but just doing this section for a teeny tiny ornament. I do like the Santa. There is a fox. So if you are doing the fox stitching this September, you've got one there. I kind of liked the squirrel too. Now, the only thing I'm not doing here on the owl, there is some like red berries up top, like kind of strands, and then like what would be red berries. I'm not doing that. Over this other ear, I might just repeat some of this kind of greenery, but I'm nowhere near that yet. I had stitched a portion of this, and then I had this wing wrong, and I had to pull it all out and restitch it. So this went a little bit slower than I thought it would. This is 18 count vintage country mocha, as you can tell by the look of it. This is, you know, it's plain on the other side. And I just concentrated just the one color so far, which he looks kind of cute like that. I mean, I will do the full because I think it'll kind of look incomplete otherwise, but I just like that vibe, just like this, to be honest with you. That would be cute as just a small piece. So Jen's hashtag is hashtag gonna be owl right Sal. And if you watch Jen, you can see all of the wonderful owl stitching she has done or is doing or is planning. So this one will be a quick one. I think I can get this one finished this month, which is nice. And I think this could go up. Gosh, this could be anytime I wanted it up, to be honest with you, especially if I just do the greenery without any of the red berries. I feel like it basically then doesn't have a season anymore, which I kind of like. It could go up at Christmas if I wanted, or it could go up any time of the year. Oops, let me put the booklet back in the bag for this. Don't want to lose that. So you might see that one next week, but I would like to at least, I would like you to see a finish by the end of September. I was going to say October. Okay, so then I am doing the gridiron grind, and I am using Clemson University as my team of choice. And ooh, it did not look good at the beginning last week. I thought, boy, I'm a jinx for anybody I am rooting for. And I was thinking to myself, I'm not going to have any stitching to do. This piece is never going to get any work if they don't start scoring and doing some stuff. Luckily, in the second half, Clemson did come through and did actually do some stuff. So I was able to pull in a bit more stitching. The way I look at it is, and I'm doing this certainly with Aston Villa because they are hopeless so far this year for my soccer stitching. If they don't give me a lot of options, I'm not doing just the score times 100. I certainly couldn't do that in soccer because Aston Villa hasn't scored yet this year, so it would be 0 stitches. I am doing a whole bunch of different things, including the score. So this is Witch's Hollow. I chose this because it's purple and orange, plus it's fun this time of year, and those are Clemson's colors. I have started in the top, and I'm slowly working my way down. I was watching Lynn from Those Missing Stitches. Let me see if I picked, no, I picked the wrong pen. Lynn from Those Missing Stitches is also stitching this, and if you watch her most recent video, she is starting from the bottom and working on it. And so I don't know if we're doing it with the same fabric because I am using one of Lynn's fabrics for it. But you can see it from a different direction if you like. But I'm starting from the top and working my way down. The fabric from Lynn I'm using is 18 count genuine Jillian, and her company is Those Missing Stitches. You want to choose some fabric that does have color and vibe to it. That's probably better. When I come up forward, it's gonna kind of wash out and lighten up, because there are sections of the fabric that do show through. So you do want something that does show. When Helen did it, Helen de-stitched this one and finished it a month or two ago. She might have used, is there something called Pumpkin King from Atomic Ranch? I want to say, I'm going to link Helen. I'm sure you're watching her. If you go back a month or two, she does have it finished. That might be what she used, and it looks fantastic too. So you just find a nice, really great orange and run with it. So let me come on up here. So that is washed out, but that will show you where I am. So Clemson did win. They did pull out a win, 27-16 against Troy. No offense to Troy. You played your hearts out, and good on you. I was a little worried, though. So I give points. They got a win, so that was 100 stitches. They scored 27, so add 27. 3 touchdowns, 30 stitches, 2 field goals, 20. What is that? I have two things written twice. They got 1 sack, turnover, and they also had 3 turnovers. So all in all, I needed 217 stitches, and I did 243. I will definitely, unless I'm running out of time, at least try to get that little bit extra, finish that strand, or maybe do one more, just to keep this moving, because this is maybe 10% of the piece done. I am starting to get to the point where my purples will zero out soon, because I think, except for one of the roofs on one of the houses, most of the purple is just up here. I finished all of the moon, so that is completely done now. I needed to do some of that darker yellow plus finish off the white, and then I decided to come down and start doing over here. So I did finish some purple, and I did also some of the black. Now this one was pulled before, again, that DMC bought Anchor, and so I pulled a whole bunch of Anchor black for this before, because I think that it needs something like 8,000 more stitches in black. At least, I don't even remember now. So clearly I needed lots of it. So you will see this one. I think Clemson is playing Georgia Tech tomorrow. However, they are not, and I don't quite understand the whole betting lines and stuff. I get percentages, right? But all that other stuff, I don't get it, and I don't plan on betting on games, so I don't learn it. But I did see that 56% the odds were choosing Georgia Tech to win, not Clemson. So we will see what happens. Okay, then one of the other challenges I do is I am part of Whip Warriors, and we are getting close to when they reopen. They are a closed group. They will open sometime mid-November, mid to late November, if you'd like to try them out. They are a participation required challenge group. They have tons of challenges, though, so if you're worried, and I hope they keep that. There's one that they just started the last couple months. It's called Keep It Simple. And basically, you pick a piece that you work on the entire month, and you have to stitch a certain number of hours, I think. I don't know. That might not be an hours one. It might just be a counting one, because some of the challenges are hours or stitches counted. Some of them are just counting events. But they've kept it where you could just work on one piece for an entire month and show what you did, and I think you get that month's credit. So if you're worried, there are some things I think they're trying to do to kind of help people out, especially when life gets crazy, right? But one of the challenges has been the focus event, which the first full weekend, I believe, of a month, they basically have you focus on one piece. It's a 5-day challenge, and you see what you can get done in it. Now, I have had some really good months where I could get up to 1,500 stitches in those 5 days. This month was not one of them. And I'm kind of disappointed in that fact, because I was really hoping to get a good amount done on this one. I ended up getting, what does it say here? 702 stitches. So there's nothing to sneeze at, right? That's a good amount of stitches. But it is a little less than half of what I was hoping for. And it wasn't for lack, well, let's put it this way. I did some on Thursday night and Friday night. I didn't do any full coverage stitching those days. So I didn't pull out Paris because I wanted to get some work on this. And I do have this one on a digital. So I do, after dinner, my stitching, I pick one that's on Pattern Keeper generally, and I just go to town because I can see the screens easier than I can the paper patterns. And I really wanted to tackle some of this and then up here. So this will repeat what's over here. And this is 4-corner. And when I put it into Pattern Keeper, they're not technically, this is Black Roses by Owl Forest Embroidery. They're not technically made for Pattern Keeper compatibility. So some of the pages are fine and some of them have some repeated stitches. So I do have to go back and forth between the paper and the digital on this one. So that does slow me down. And then especially at page breaks is when it's really obvious. So it did slow me down. But you can see there's a lot of counting and a lot of different parts and pieces of this. And I stitched on it Thursday night. And all right, I got progress, but not as much as I had been. I stitched on it Friday night and I got awful progress. And I don't know, compared to what I normally get. And I kind of got frustrated with it, I'm not going to lie. So Saturday and Sunday, I didn't pull it out. And then I said, come on, let's rally, Laura. And I did some on Monday. I was originally going to do the start and finish photos officially on the Facebook group, and I just didn't bother in the end. I did have a before picture, and I could have done it, but I was so frustrated with myself and kind of how long some of the counting was taking. And right now, I've got up here, I've got all of the flowers done with the red. I don't have flowers now until, let me show you the full, I know you've seen it before. I keep jumping into one of these other things without showing you things. I am stitching all of this except for the bottom row of flowers. So if I don't know if I can kind of show you, that's kind of what it's going to look like, mine. We have all the flowers up here, and then we have the entire castle, and then you don't have flowers again until down there. So it's not like I even have to worry about, okay, am I stitching where the black is or the red is? This is all black stitching at this point. So sometimes I just get a little frustrated with myself, and this was one of those weekends. I'm pleased I pulled it out on Monday. I'm pleased I kind of rallied at the end just to get that little bit more extra done. This is 18 count Pomona from Under the Sea Fabrics. I started this one on, this was my new start this year. So, I mean, overall, I think this is pretty darn good through beginning of September, right? The first weekend in September for 2025, when I have 85 to 90 whips, right? I think that's pretty good. Mary and I, Mary's Stitching Corner. Mary's also stitching this one as well. She started it the first day along with me. And so, you know, it's coming along. It's doing great. I chose the purple because I was feeling Maleficent when I looked at that, at the woman, at the queen with the castle. And so I wanted that purple vibe, and I wanted that smoky kind of, not almost like, not evil purple, but kind of a, not that really happy, cheerful purple kind of thing, if that makes any sense at all. Alrighty, and so the last piece I pulled out is my Whip into Shape piece, and that is a challenge that is being run by Andrew the Runner Stitcher. He is training now for the New York Marathon, which is, I believe, is the first weekend in November. And so for every mile he runs, we stitch. I'm stitching 10 stitches per mile. And where's my piece? I had one finish while he was training for the Australian Marathon. I changed to another piece for a while, but then I decided from that last weekend in August, when he was, you know, was to have run that marathon, to the next marathon to marathon. I wanted to see, I don't think I can get a finish on this. I have its paper, I don't have it in a pattern keeper or anything, so I have no idea how many stitches I have left, but it is Spring Quaker from Leela's Studio. My kind of Pollyannish, oh, that won't take that long to stitch, goal is to have this one done for when he runs the marathon in November. So we'll see. I have the majority, there's a few little bits and pieces here or there on the outer edge that I have to do. Most of what I need to do is that center block. And now that that basket is done, I mean, I feel much better about my chances, because that basket is no joke. If you're getting ready to tackle it, whew, this bottom is probably a couple thousand stitches. It's at least 1,000. at least. I'm not sure because I had to do it over several different sessions. So here it is in its totality. This is 18 count rose hips from Under the Sea Fabrics. The hashtag is hashtag whip into shape. And I am all the way cut up through Monday, I don't know what that day was, maybe the 9th. I don't know. I don't have the calendar open anymore. And that's only because Monday the 8th. That's because Monday he took a rest day because he had a long run on Sunday. So I generally pick this up on the weekends, and then that week leading up to the marathon, I'll pull it out again as well. But I like to do it kind of as a whole big section of stitching and not each day. And I concentrated on the flowers. So that week I needed 300, I think it was 310 stitches. Isn't it always amazing? You look at that and you say, how in the world is that 310 stitches? And it is. As I am doing with many of the other parts of this, I am changing several of the colors. The charted color was like 03 and it was very gray. So I changed it to more of a bluish purple. I did keep the deep red, but I think this pinkish red is different. I am keeping the green as called for. So almost all of the outside is not called for. And I will, once I'm finished, sit down if you're interested and kind of figure out. Some of it is like for like. Certainly all the Quakers are like for like. I took a symbol and instead of this brown color, I chose a green color. And then the same thing with the basket. I changed those colors to different browns and a few other things along the way. So if you're interested, some of them you may not be able to do. Like I picked just a variegated pink that I had in my stash and things like that. But you can do it. Oh, and the bunnies are different. So lots of changes. But I am optimistic, ever optimistic. Again, there's page breaks here in the middle, so it will go a little slower. I don't think there's as many houses in this as there is Summer Quaker. And this set of flowers will get repeated here, and then we have one set in the center. So I'm gonna remain optimistic. You may hopefully maybe see a finish. Maybe I could finish this while Andrew's running. That would be so cool. We'll see. You'll just have to continue to stay tuned and see what happens. So that is Spring Quaker from Lila Studio. And that is all my stitching this week. All right, what else is going on here? Plans. I am planning on having, well, I'm going to continue AB single, of course, and then also whip into shape. So this weekend I might pull that one out. There's an owl, at least one more owl I'd like to start. And then also I have to pull out my other whip for an owl. Mary and I are starting a Blackbird sampler from Pansy Patch. We're starting it this coming week. Now Sandy from Stitching with Sandy, I just should put this pen that does work over here as opposed to reaching for it. Stitching with Sandy. Sandy started this one. I don't remember the exact day. Sandy recently had a video out. If you want to check out her video, she always has such fabulous stitching. I am not stitching it on black. It calls for, well, a Gloriana silk, which I am not doing. And then the DMC, they have you mixing together 310 and 3799. However, I decided I wanted to, it just felt like some of these had a blue vibe, and I kind of like that instead. So I am pulled out, this was part of the Cottage Garden, I can't think of the name. Do you know the promotion that they did where something like 20 designers or however many take 4 threadworks or take certain colors? This time it was a 4 set of threadworks and they chart patterns just using those 4. Well, one of them was this 1024, and many of you were so helpful in telling me that, yes, you can buy them on their own. So that's what I did. I did buy another extra skein or so for it because I don't have any idea how much I need, and I like it anyway, so it can be used. I'm showing it against this Twilight Mist from To Die For Fabrics because I think I'm going to use that. This is what it looks like, but I want to, since I'm using the blue floss. I kind of want that blue vibe. I was thinking of going a little bit more out there, but I'm not sure I'm feeling this vibe so much because they're a little bit differently toned. This one is Celestial Tide from To Die For fabric. It has a little bit more modeling and obviously is a little bit darker, kind of more tealy-ish. So there's that, but I think I have to make sure I have enough fabric here, but yeah, it's falling off. You know what? I'll just take it off of that for now. I'm really feeling this, which is the subtle blue, because I don't want it to compete with the floss. So I think that's where I'm leaning, but we'll see. But that is going to hopefully get started this week as well. And then we'll see what else happens. I don't worry about starts, whips, counts, anything like that. I start what I want when I want. I finish what happens whenever, and I just enjoy myself. I know some people, it really bothers them to have a large number of projects. For me, not so much. Okay, so that is that. I did receive in the mail, Connie V, I did receive yours. Connie, if you could reach out to me, I just need to chat with you for a little bit, either on the Gmail address or through Instagram, please. And both are listed down below. I just want us to have a chat, please. But Connie, this did get to me. Just wanted to make sure you know it got safe and sound. All right, shopping. I have more shopping than I thought I'd have, and some of it was stuff that came in that had been ordered previously. You know how that happens. And I swear I didn't realize I was doing this. This is like a purple fabric bonanza that I didn't have a clue I was doing. You'd think I'd pay attention, but I didn't. So Bestitchme has ready to ship kind of events on a fairly regular basis. So I always check out what she's got. And one of them that she had was called Spellbound. And so here we go. That's pretty purple. And what was cool, Bestitchme, I think she's having some sort of anniversary of sorts, and she did a slew of giveaways. I don't think this was part of that. I think this was just, she was doing some giveaways again to, you know, kind of give little extras. And so she sent a sample silk pack to me. And so there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different hand-dyed silks here. So that was very, very nice of her. All right, then I was talking with Mary, and Mary had gotten this fabric from Those Missing Stitches, and I had been thinking about it, and I said, you know what? I think it would be a great fabric to have in mine. So I hopped on over to Etsy, and I got Wisely Watson 18 count from Those Missing Stitches. Now, Those Missing Stitches, if you do watch her video, so exciting. She showed a fabric. She's doing a project where she has a fabric she's releasing next month, which she doesn't usually drop fabrics except on the first of a quarter. So I'm so excited. And then she showed one that I think might be a January drop, and it's so cool too. So Lynn, you are just hitting it out of the park with your, so that was, now they are 2 different purples. And there's a third purple you'll see in a minute. 2 very different purples. So that's good. But yeah, I didn't really know that I was doing that. And then I had gotten a message from, oh, before I do that, I did order some more Threadworks because I was worried that I would run out of, let me just show them against this purple. I was worried I'd run out of this 1024, and many of you told me, yes, I could order it on its own. So I did order more. And then because, you know, you just decide you want to try a few other colors, I tried, this is 10241. So it's a little bit different. And I wonder if the 5 letters means more variegated. I debated on using this one as well, instead of the 1024. And I don't know, maybe I'm not completely, I don't know if I want this highly variegated. As you can see, the 1024 is not. So I don't know if that's a Threadworks thing where if it's 5, it's more variegated. If it's 4, it's not. And I don't know. Maybe it's just newer numbers. I might be reading too much into it. I still think I'm going to go with this because I feel like this one might be a little bit too variegated for me. Oh, so this goes over. Nope, that's the variegated one. Then I said, ooh, this was a pretty green. And I thought, you know, sometimes you want a nice good green for grass and things. 10602. Show you with the fabric, just against the fabric. So that's that one. And then the last one, I wanted kind of a grayish one. There's a little bit of black tone in it, but it's mostly gray. 11212. So I picked that one up too. There's a on Etsy, I think it's called Ancora Crafts. That's where she has all of the Threadworks plus other flosses. I'm not sure I've bought anything but Threadworks from her, but that's usually where I get it, and very fast shipping. I think I ordered it and the next day I got a shipping notice, so you gotta like that. Alrighty, and then here's my story real quick. I had gotten a message from Floss and Flame, which is a local needlework, an LNS, a local needlework shop in Dover, Delaware, that my pre-order had come in from the marketplace. So I had placed a small pre-order, 3 different charts, and you know, you could have it shipped to you because, and Jen does ship for free all the cross stitch stuff. But I decided I marked pickup because I wanted to go and visit her. I hadn't seen Jen for a while because in the summertime, it's harder for me to get in and out. I live down in southern Delaware, and our beaches are pretty crowded. And that means our roads are pretty crowded in the height of the summer. So on Tuesday, I decided I was going to take a trip up to Dover. It's about an hour away from me, and hang out with Jen. She has a section in the shop where you can just sit and stitch and chat. And then, of course, there's more than just the 3 that I ordered, but let me show you the 3 that I ordered. I ordered Words to Live by Justice by Heartstring Samplery. I'm not going to read all that to you. So I have to decide. I don't know what this was. It was stitched with Weeks Dye Works Coal over a cocoa. I don't know if I want to do that or a different color floss and fabric. We'll see. I could see doing a brighter fabric and then a deep dark floss. I do like this color. I got Strive for Joy from the Proper Stitcher. What did she use for floss? Oh, she used Gloriana Silk. Nope. 3831 is the DMC alternative. I don't know. I'll play around with it, but I do like that color. That's kind of a pretty color. So I got that. And then if you know me, and that means you know Mo, my husband, and you'll know that Mo loves otters. And so December Stitches put out All Seasons Otterly Beautiful. I mean, seriously. I was thinking of not doing the entire piece as is. I was thinking of just stitching the 4 otters on their own as little mini ornaments. I think that would be really cute. And have a different seasonal one with that. But it does say winter, spring, summer, fall, no matter the season, count on me. I'm here for you. Just give me a call. Kind of reminds me of the Gilmore Girl theme. So that was what I ordered. Now, I could have just gone up. Jen handed me that, sat and stitched, and just been fine. But did I do that? No, I didn't. One thing I like to do is I don't buy variegated flosses as called for from charts. I don't know if I've ever done that. I just go and I shop them when I see them in person, and I just pick colors I like. And that's what I did. And Jen has Color and Cotton, and I do like the Color and Cotton. Now I'm auditioning kind of reds for a project that I'd like to do. So I basically chose 3 different reds, and then see if there's one that I like for this project, and then I would have to pick up some more of that color. But so I got some of those. Excuse me. And then I just kind of had fun. I went to the Classic Colorworks area because I do like Classic Colorworks too. And I just picked up some that struck my fancy. Excuse me. This one is so cool. This one is marmalade, but I really like the yellows and the oranges. That's very neat. So I picked that up. Let me take a drink of my tea real quick. Too much talking, right? Okay, so then what else did I get? So I got a piece of fabric, and you're saying, I know you know what color it is. Jen has quite a bit of Fox and Rabbit, And I had not seen anybody really use prehistoric. This is an 18 count Aida. So yes, it's another purple. My notes are about to, oh, let's see. They may not fall off. Let me see. The tape started to give. So now I have 3 different various shades of purple, which is funny, but that does happen to me where I am, and I have a reason why I might use this one. When I think a certain color, I usually have a shade of something in my head. So now I'm good on purples, these light difference. These are 3 different shades. And, you know, sometimes I just can't get that right shade, and I'm stuck with just that shade. So this is kind of cool because then I have quite a few options. And then I kind of walked around, and some of these, I don't know if these are all marketplace ones that I had not ordered. No, this one isn't, but the others are. And then I just saw them and I said, you know what? I'm just going to order them. I want to support Floss and Flame. This one has, I don't think Mill Hill does market stuff, but I remember seeing this. It's the Otter from Mill Hill. And I know you're all rolling your eyes at me because have I finished my first Mill Hill? No, but it's an Otter. I couldn't help myself. So I did pick that one up. It's part of the Autumn Harvest collection. I'm not sure what an otter has to do with Autumn Harvest, but I'm here for it. It's the full kit as you get. Then this one, I don't know if it was market or not, but it was sitting on, Jen was getting ready to put them on the kind of in stock, you know, the different racks where you can see everything. And I said, it's the colors of this that really spoke to me. And I just thought how fun this is. I've not done any bygone stitches before. It's called Quaker Peace. And I do really enjoy Quakers. And those colors were just really phenomenal. I don't know what she used. Excuse me, Gentle Art. She does not give a DMC alternative. I'll find my own thing. And maybe I'll do a fun, I'm not sure. Highly variegated flosses are almost too stressful for me because then I worry about how it falls. Excuse me. But maybe this time I would do something with that. We'll see. Or I'll just pick a blue and a red. And then this one, I had looked at and I considered, but I didn't get it, didn't pre-order it. It is the Pink Peacock Sampler by Pansy Patch. I mean, seriously, how cute is that? It's a pink peacock. It's charted in Gloriana. It does give a DMC 2 color, but I'll use a variegated floss of my own choosing on that one. And then the last one I got, I really, really considered, and again, I hadn't gotten it. I'd be tempted, to be quite honest with you, to start this one this November. This is the Sampler Holidays Thanksgiving from Blueberry Ridge. Now this one is charted in, it's called Red Clay Gloriana, and it's funny because Jen pulled it out. She said, ooh, that will be fun to stitch. She pulled it out to look at it, and it really does have all of these colors, the reds, the browns, the greens, whatever. And again, it was a bit too, well, one, it's silk, and I generally will translate to cotton. But 2, it's highly variegated. And again, there's a lot of stress and pressure on that. It's funny. She does give a DMC alternative, but she gives you 6 different DMCs. So you could mix and match and add them in a certain way, or I'll find a good DMC alternative. If I wanted to stay with just the browns, this Fallen Leaves from Classic Colorworks is kind of nice. Not browns, but kind of the orangey-ish, almost brown shades, to be honest with you, orange browns. I could see maybe something like that. That might be fun. Or something. I would go on a hunt. I would go probably up to Jen's and just look at all of her flosses and see what kind of jumped out at me. So that's that one. And that's what I got. So I might as well just have pre-ordered them, but oh well. I got them in the end. And that was my shopping at Floss and Flame. So that's exciting. I usually don't have that much shopping. Alrighty, that's it for the stitching part. So if you are still here, thank you so much for being here. For those of you who are staying for life, I'll keep it quick because we're already at an hour 14. So We did go to the beach this weekend because it was beautiful weather, so that was fun. I got a chance to just listen to the ocean on Saturday. Sunday was a horrible day. That was all right. Mo and Khan had to do some work getting ready for moving day, which is coming fast for their new apartment. But Saturday was a lovely day. So we did get to the beach for a little bit. I went up to Floss and Flame. That was my entire Tuesday. I really enjoyed it. Jen is such a wonderful person. Oh, and Ruth from Spectrum Farms. Oh, Ruth, am I saying that right? Ruth is also a floss tuber. I'm gonna link her down below. Spectrum Farms needlework, I think. She'll be the last one listed because I always list in the order that I talked about. It was funny because she walked in and her voice, I was like, that voice sounds so familiar. Why? And then it just came out that she has a floss tube. And I said, that's where the voice, that's why I know the voice. Ruth this is the first time I've ever met her in person. She is just absolutely delightful. She came in on her lunch hour for work, so she couldn't stay for very long. But Ruth, it was so nice meeting you in person. And yes, let's all get together and do some stitching. That would be so much fun. And Jen, thank you for a wonderful day. I needed that kind of getaway sort of day, and I so enjoyed myself. And then I had physical therapy on Wednesday. It's just plugging along. We'll see what's happening with that. I don't have a lot to say with that, but still doing my exercises. I'll just leave it there. And then some Zooms. So so a pretty busy week, actually. I was kind of surprised that it was already Friday when it was time to film. The week just seems to fly by. I don't have anything book-wise. I'm still listening to just my regular Cozy Mystery. I've been really slow listening to it this time around. Just a little bit here and there. I have to get going, though, because I have less than a week left on it, I think. But Mo and I did start watching, I think it's BritBox. Now, Mo had watched this on BritBox. It left because he was like, you have to watch this. And it came back. So he's watching it with me. It's called Happy Valley. It is a police show that takes place in England. So it's a British police series. It's funny because, you know, it's called Happy Valley, and on the front picture, you don't think much of it. It is very, very gritty. I have no idea for the language because I don't know what's considered bad language in Britain. You know, some of the words they say, I know that they're not complimentary, but I don't know if they're just like slight sort of swears or if they're more off color. So I can't tell you on that one. I just hear it and I don't know what I'm hearing sometimes, whether it's, you know, really not great. But it is very gritty. There's more violence than I thought. It fits the storyline. So I'm not going to say it's just gratuitous or anything, but I had to kind of reframe my thinking watching this because I wasn't quite expecting it. The main actress is phenomenal. She's fantastic. But it's a bit grittier, than I anticipated. So I don't want you know, you say Happy Valley, you think, oh, this is going to be a nice light sort of thing. No, it is pretty, a little bit more hard-hitting and gritty. So just want to kind of give you that warning in case you were interested in watching it. But Mo loved it. I know other people had recommended it to me, and I am enjoying it so far. We are almost, I think, done with season 1. There's only 3 seasons, I believe. And I think I don't know if they're making any more at this point. I think it's done. So, but I'm enjoying it so far, I have to say. All right, so that's about it. That's all I have. So my friends, as we come to the end right here, I hope you are well. I hope you are safe. Please remember, as always, that you, my friends, are important. You matter. That is just, if I can just get something out there, I always want you to remember that you matter. And you are enough as you are, okay? All right, until next time, happy stitching.